everyone, I'm Allie Buchman with the Potomac Bead Company, and I am going to do this fun pattern today called Diamond's Edge. It's going to be combining crescents and the diamond duos, creating that kind of zigzagging effect right down the middle. The design was created by Anna during one of our little creative sessions at the Potomac Bead Company. We like to stay creative and be your creative company, giving you ideas and all different stuff to use for all the new beads that are out there. If you do need any of the materials to do this diamond edge bracelet, on the left hand side here there'll be a little drop down link to all the different items that you need. If you don't see the little drop down, you may be on a mobile or a phone or something, look underneath the video to the little description box of the video, and it has what the video is about, and if you click the little show more button down below it, it'll give you links to all the different products as well. For the Diamond's Edge bracelet, we are going to be using some diamond duos. So the diamond duos, if you're unfamiliar with them, they are a check bead. They are a 2-hold diamond shaped bead. So you can see them here right along the edge in that pastel petrol and then that jade, turquoise jade color there. And we're going to be using 2 different colors. One color is going to be your outer row and one color is going to be your inner row. For my inner row, I'm going to be using jet diamond duos. For my outer row, I'm going to be using the light blue airy pearl. In addition to the diamond duos and having those 2 items, you're also going to have crescents. The crescents run down the middle. Here in that crystal gilded gold in the actual crescents, I am going to pop in that blue, but just a tiny bit off of that blue color of that light airy blue pearl, going with the metallic sapphire color here, saturated metallic sapphire. So it's going to kind of look like that in color order. In addition to that, there's a little tiny 15-0 bead that's making up a little bit of space right on the edge, and I'm using the Crystal Labrador Fool 15-0. Along the outer edge, I did 2 different examples on the sides of Anna's piece here, just to show you that you can use some different options on the actual outer edge of the piece. Here I used some drops, and on this side, some 15-0s and some 8-0s. I'm going to actually change it up even a little bit more and use some demi-round 11-0 seed beads, which are Toho brand seed beads, and Miyuki 8-0 seed beads. The Toho brand demi-rounds that I'll be using are the hydrangea demi-rounds. So 11-0 demi-rounds, those are the Toho brand. The Miyuki in the galvanized silver is the 8-0, and then the Crystal Labrador Fool, which is Miyuki 15-0, but coated in the Czech Republic to get that nice bright silver color. With all of these beads here, I'm also going to be using a cut button, and the cut button I have here is just the jet cut button to pull out some of that black that's going to go right down the middle. To string the whole thing, we're going to be using some wildfire beading thread, and I am using my green color because it blends in nicely, and you won't be able to see it kind of through some of that hydrangea and also along the sides of the blue beads. If you have blue wildfire, you could also use that as well. I am going to be using 1 needle, so for all of you that like the 1 needle projects, 1 needle and a size 10 or a size 12 needle will work for you. Size 10 is what was done to do the little sample piece here. In addition to the needle and the thread, I have some super new glue hanging out there handy, as well as my Thread Zap 2. I have my Thread Zap 2 at home here, and then my Beadle-On cord cutter. They both basically do the same thing. There's also an Ultra as well, so you can kind of decide which one you like. When I'm at home, I like to work on my Bead On It board, which is a nice workable surface that you can pick up the beads as you're working. To get started, we are going to start with our central color of our Diamond Duo beads. So in this case, I'm using the jet color. And then you're also going to get ready with your crescent beads to get those lined up and your 15-0 seed beads. This project is going to go back and forth a number of times, so you want to make sure to have at least 5 feet on the original thread. So go ahead and take your thread burner and do some 5 feet of thread. Also, if you want to have handy, I forgot to mention, I usually like to have a flat nose pliers there, needle nose pliers, to kind of squash down the edge of the thread after I burn it in order to get it onto my needle. You will be needing more thread, so I'll also show you during the course of the video how to tie on and add extra thread. To get started, again, about 5 feet of thread, your 15-0, your central color of your diamond duo, and your crescent are what you're going to need laid out on your bead mat. As we begin to get started on our project here, I've added a stop bead onto the end of my thread. So the stop bead, the way that it functions is it stops your beads from coming off the end. I do not have a cut button or anything on yet. We'll be doing that as we go up and back the project, so you don't have to worry about that yet. The stop bead literally just gets put on a bead that's not part of the project that will eventually come off. And you take your needle and thread through it 2 times away from about a 2 to 4 inch tail, depending on how much you like to have when you go in and get ready to knot the end of the cording. When I get started here, we're going to be starting actually down kind of the central row. We're going to be adding the diamond duos in each little side here, and you can kind of trace the line of the thread through the center here, which zigzags back and forth a tiny bit. To start, we're going to be using the diamond duos and the crescents, like I said, in our inner color, which is my black color of the diamond duos, and then my 2 of the saturated sapphire here, crescents. When putting on the diamond duos, they have a flat side, and they have a side that has a little bit of a bump up, making it look like it has a facet to it. We're going to be lining them up and going through both the right hole at one point and then the left hole at one point. So I'm going to refer to them the right hole or the left hole when the actual little pointed area is facing up. To start, add one of your diamond duos through your right hand hole onto the needle. Next, we're going to add those 2 crescents. To add the 2 crescents, we're going to start by adding 1 crescent closest to that right hand diamond duo, with going through when the crescent is a rainbow or facing down, go through the right hole as well. Next, we're going to put on our second crescent going through the left hand hole. Ready for the next diamond duo to go on. This time we're going to go through the left hand hole of the diamond duo. So you can see it's going to kind of switch back and forth. You're going to use right hole, left hole, right hole, left hole. And you're going to push that all down next to that stop bead. It's going to want to turn all around. And if you want to kind of keep track of it, you can just on your bead mat keep it laying down flat as you pick up your beads to keep track as far as what order you are actually doing for the project. As we get ready to add the next of the crescent beads, we are going to basically do a reverse order. So we have the diamond duo on that we've gone through that left hand hole, and now we're going to get ready to put on our next crescent. The crescents are going to sit and hug the actual diamond duo, so the next crescent to go on is going to go on through the left hand hole as well. The following crescent is going to go through the right hand hole. And remember again, when I say right and left, the crescent is facing down. And there we have that first little kind of start. You can see that first little V getting started. Next, we're going to put on another one of our diamond duos, this time through the right hand hole. This starts our pattern over. So when I'm through the right hand hole here, the next crescent to go on is going to go on through the right hand hole. And that's going to drop down around this crescent right there, followed by a crescent through the left hand hole, a diamond duo through the left hand hole, and another crescent through the left hand hole. Let that all drop down. And like I said, if you need to, you can move your crescents so that way you can see exactly where you're going. You start to get that V shape. So again, continuing on, you're going to do right hand hole of a crescent, right hand hole of the diamond duo, right hand hole of the crescent. Then we start the left hand holes. Left hand hole of the crescent, left hand hole of the diamond duo or left side, left side of the next crescent. So 3 go on the left, 3 go on the right. Let those lay down. You can kind of force them into place so they're sitting in the correct order for you. While you're doing this too, that zigzag effect is going to happen. So don't think you're going to string them all on. And now that I'm done the length of the bracelet here, I'm actually going to be done with my black diamond duos. So I'll go ahead and put those back in my case. And I'm done with my crescent beads as well. So I'm going to kind of clean up your mat. And now it's going to be time to get out your other color of your diamond duos. So in my case, I'm using that light blue airy pearl. And I still have my 15-0s out, ready to go. And some of those light blue airy pearl diamond duos. To get down the side, what we're going to do now is start with one of the sides. We're going to be going through the second hole of the jet diamond duo, adding our blue diamond duo, going through a crescent and adding a 15-0. Going through a crescent, adding our diamond duos on the sides of our black diamond duo, and then our 15-0 seed bead in between our crescents. To get to that point, that will actually help all of this lay in order too. And I have mine kind of mapped out because it will shrink up just a tiny little bit. I have it on my wrist here, so that way the ends almost touch when I'm working with it. And that's going to be to fit my wrist, because by the time I add the cup button and the clasp, that'll give it a little bit more space that I can work with. To get from the outside basically and work down the pendant or down the piece, I'm going to go ahead and add in 3 15-0 seed beads and go from the bottom hole there on the back of this diamond duo to the top hole. Give a nice tight pull, and that's going to tighten up any thread that may be kind of missing in between. When I'm on the sides of the diamond duo, again, I'm going to add another diamond duo. Because I'm working down one side, I'm always going to be going down the left-hand hole of the diamond duo. That's going to pull the diamond duo in right next to the previous one. Kind of flip over the crescent so you just have the one sticking out. So through the crescent, after adding the diamond duo, that'll pull that diamond duo in. Skip over the next crescent because you want it laying down flat. Skip over the next diamond duo, make sure that that is facing upward so you can see the actual little kind of diamond shape on the top of the diamond duo. And pull it so that you're going into the next crescent that has the outer hole facing on the right-hand side. Add a 15-0 seed bead and connect to that next crescent in line, and that'll kind of pull that in. You can see the 15-0 sitting out there. On the sides in here, adding the diamond duos in between the jet diamond duos. And you're going to sew again, just to show you. You're sewing into that left-hand hole through the diamond duo. Well, this one wanted to go through the next diamond duo too, but just through one. When I'm out that diamond duo, on goes another diamond duo, picking up the crescent that's right next to the jet diamond duo, and then throw the other crescent in line there back, throw the diamond duo back, throw the other crescent back, and go to the next crescent in line and add your 15-0. So we add a 15-0 on, pick up that next outer crescent, and sew through. You can see that starts to create that little edging effect here that we want, and getting that zigzagging pattern. So we're going to come down the whole right-hand side, adding 2 diamond duos in, and then our 15-0 in between the crescents that are closest to that jet diamond duo. The crescents that are further away get thrown back to the other side, and we'll catch on to those as we come down the opposite side and add in the diamond duos and the 15-0s on that side. When you get to the end of the design, I want you to go ahead and try it on again, because you will see that it's shrunk, and then you can see exactly how much space you have in the back. So I have enough here for my cup button, which is perfect. And at this point here, I'm actually going to get ready to add part of my clasp. So whether or not you want to do your cup button, your loop, if you're doing a regular clasp, that's kind of up to you. But I'm coming off the end of my project here through my last crescent, and it would be as if I was adding a 15-0 in order to connect to my next crescent. What I'm going to do instead is pour out some of my 8-0s, and I have my 15-0s handy here, and then some of my hydrangea demi-rounds, just a couple. With these all out, I'm going to get ready to come down the opposite side now and actually add in my next set of my diamond duos and my 15-0s down the left hand side here, but I'm going to go in and actually add my cup button. To do so, you're going to use an 8-0, and that'll kind of bring it so that it's even with your last of your diamond duos. To really kind of set it out a little bit, go ahead and put on another 8-0. Then we're going to add 3 of our 15-0 seed beads, go up through the back of the cup button. When I'm at the top of the cup button, I want to add a little bit of color to the top. So I will add 1 15-0, 3 of my hydrangea color demi-rounds, and 1 15-0. Come down the other side of the cup button, give a nice tight pull, add your 3 15s just like we did on the other hole, and then to even it up, I'm going to add 1 8-0 here, and we're going to sew back through the second 8-0. And that's going to bring it back in that little kind of V area. To then get to the outer edge here of the diamond duo, in order to go down the opposite side, what I'm going to do is go through the crescent here, through that same hole that I was coming out of. Give a little yank and a tight pull. Then back the thread through the second hole of that same crescent bead, so that way it's coming through the opposite direction. Take your needle the whole way back through the diamond duo that you want to come out of. When I'm coming out of that diamond duo, then we're going to repeat what we did on the first side when we did it on the right hand side. Add 3 15s onto your needle and take your needle through the second hole of the diamond duo bead. That's going to get your clasp right there on the end. Kind of covers up the hole a little bit. Don't worry about your starter thread. We'll go ahead and get rid of that as we come back down the project again to do our little outer edging here and get our 8s and our demi rounds in place. To come down the left hand side now, we are going to be adding our diamond duos in the Airy Pearl, just like we did previously. Sewing through the crescent, and this time it's going to be easier because it's laying more in the form that it should. So it's laying more in that already kind of pre-configured zigzagging form. What will happen a tiny bit is that the crescents in the middle will pop up just ever so slightly, and it has just a tiny little bit of a grading to it. So go ahead and add in your diamond duos again and your 15-0 between the empty hole of the crescents. Sew through the crescent bead, and then coming out the crescent bead, add in your diamond duos again between the black jet diamond duos. So as promised, I had told you that I'll get to a point where I had to add some thread in case your 5 feet is not enough. And I'm coming out of one of the crescents, and I'm going to simply slide my needle off the thread that is on the project. Taking a new piece of thread, I'm going to tie a knot around the old piece. You can see the old piece is just kind of hanging out in the middle there. I tie that knot. What that knot just around the other piece allows me to do is move that knot up and down that thread end. Pulling it nice and tight, slide it right down next to the crescent. Take the two thread ends then together and tie them in a square knot. Right over left and left over right. With your thread burner then, you take the thread ends, burn down, leaving a little bit of a tail so you know where that thread end is. That way if you want to go back and glue it, you can. Or in my case, what I'll do is burn it down even further, creating a little bit of a stop. Go ahead then to your new thread and add your needle on to your new piece of thread. Once the thread is on the needle, I'm going to go ahead then and just continue on with my project as if I never even switched thread. So I'm on the point here where I'm getting ready to add another diamond duo. I'll go ahead and add that diamond duo and continue on with the project. What I try to do, if the bracelet especially has a back and a front, I try to push the knot a little bit to the back like that, making sure that it's not poking out the front of the project. Continue on then, just finishing up adding your outer row here of your diamond duos on the second side. At the very end of the project here, I'm coming out the last of my crescent beads, which is going to be the opposite side of the other end. So you're going to kind of have it on the opposite side. What I'm going to do on this side is basically mimic what I did on the button side by adding in 2 of my 8/0s. Then I'm going to go ahead and put on a bunch of my 15/0s. The 15/0s are going to create my loop. If you want to and you want to have a little bit more color in the design, you can actually add some of your demi rounds too. You could do a pattern of every other. That's kind of up to you. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple and add a bunch of those silvers onto my needle. Let them drop down as you're building and continue adding them on to create your loop. Once there are enough seed beads on there for your loop, come back down through that first of your 8/0 seed beads. Pull nice and tight here. And we're going to add another 8/0 seed bead. So on the other side we did kind of the V in the opposite direction. This one's going to be in this direction here. To get to the outer edge then, in order to add my little fringe on the side, whatever that may be, or my connector, so you can add some teardrops and 15/0s, or in my case I'm going to add the demi rounds and an 11 or an 8/0. I need to get to the outer edge. To get to the outer edge, I'm going to take my thread and needle and go through the 3 15/0s that sit along the side of the last jet diamond duo. When I come back down the project on the opposite side, I'll have an opportunity to reinforce that loop. Down the side now I'm going to do my pattern. To get to the pattern, I'm just going to use 5 15/0s and go into the second hole of the last diamond duo. That's just going to bridge that gap right around the end of the product or project. Once you have that, you're going to get your demi rounds ready and your 8/0s. The demi rounds are about half the thickness, approximately half the thickness of an 11/0. They're just a tiny bit thicker than a 15/0. So my pattern is very simple. It's going to be demi round, 8, demi round through your next diamond duo. Again, demi, 8, demi through the next diamond duo. So this is your, if you struggled with kind of which way the crescents go and which way the diamond duos go, this is your relief time now. You get to just not think about it and just do a 1-2-1 pattern. 1, 2, 1. And create. Let's go the whole way down this right side here. Then I'll show you how we reinforce onto the button and come back down the left side. So I've come down this right hand side here, adding in my seed beads, and you can see it just brightens it up a little bit. When you get to the end and you're at your last diamond duo, go ahead and grab some 15-0s when you're coming out of it. And I'm going to do about 5 or 6 of my 15-0s. I'm going to take my thread and needle then and go up through that second 8-0 of the cup button, through all the 15-0s of the cup button, and through coming out the opposite end of the cup button. What this is going to do is allow me to reinforce my cup button end. I'm also at the end here where I'm going to get ready to take off that stop bead too. Go ahead then and go through all the beads there at the cup button. Come down through the opposite side of the cup button and out the last 8-0. When I'm out the last 8-0, go ahead and remove that stop bead that's there. And you're just going to tie your thread end onto your workable end. I'm going to do that about 3 times, getting rid of that stop thread. If you want to, you can burn down that stop thread a little bit. Make sure you're not burning down through the thread that you're using. Once you've got your knot here, go ahead and sew through the 15s on the side of that black diamond duo. Coming out then, this is your good opportunity to kind of clean up your bead mat of your 15s. You're going to grab 5 15s. And once those 5 15s are on your needle, go into the second hole of that blue diamond duo. Once you're through the second hole of that blue diamond duo, just simply come down the opposite side, adding in your 11 demi rounds and your 8 OC bead. As I'm exiting the last of my diamond duo beads, it's time to reinforce and kind of catch on to that last clasp. Go ahead and add 5 to 6 15-0 seed beads. I happen to have 6 on my mat here, so I'll add 6. Go up through then that 8-0 seed bead that sits on the right hand side closest to the side you're on. Go up then through the 8-0 that links the thread sides together and reinforce your loop. By reinforcing the loop, you're taking your thread and needle through all of the beads that are there. If you want to, you can even reinforce it a 3rd time. That's up to you. I like to make sure that I have at least 2 times going through. I never create a bracelet where I only have 1 time on either side of the end. It's always going to be at least 2 threads going through the end of the piece. Even if you're using a toggle clasp or different clasp, you'd want to reinforce that as well. Once you're done going through the loop, you're coming back out through that base 8-0. And all I'm going to do now is take my thread and needle, back down my project a little bit, picking up some of the warp threads or the bridge threads that go between the beads, sewing under that, creating a loop, and sewing through the loop. So back through a couple more beads. If I want to, I can reverse the thread also, taking it back the opposite way. But I'm going to sew back through some of these here, tie off more knots underneath those bridge threads. creating a loop, sewing through that loop, and creating a knot. Once you've gone ahead and done that a couple times, you can go in with your thread burner, burn your thread down, go back to your thread areas that you had added thread onto, burn those down a little bit shorter as well. Once I burn those down shorter, I'll then burn the ends down to create a little balled effect at the end, and that's going to keep it from the actual knots that you've created from coming apart. So I have my original one here at the end. I'll do the same thing. And then you're completely finished with your bracelet. If you want to glue, you can glue as well. But you have this nice kind of designs of that zigzag back and forth. You can see if you use 3 different, drastically different colors, you get a completely different design. And it's really just a fun way to use the diamond duos and the crescents and to have a nice easy clasp to put on. So if you want to, you can follow along this video again, check it out, and create this Diamond's Edge bracelet. Again, if you need any of the materials for the Diamond's Edge, go back to the beginning of the video to the left-hand side where we do the little drop-down menu. If you don't have that drop-down below the video, there's the description with the show more. You can drop down on that and you can get links to all of the different products as well. Keep in mind also, you can always subscribe to this YouTube channel and you'll get regular updates from us on different projects like this, as well as videos on other projects and new beads that come out and new beads that we design as well. Again, if you need it, on the drop-down menu or below are links to pick up the materials at your local Potomac Bead Company store or shop from me online. You can also stay connected with us other than PotomacBeads.com by staying connected with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and every once in a while we tweet too. You can also ask to join our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. Become a member there and really interact with a great group of people that love to make jewelry, love to show ideas and designs, and really continue kind of building the beading community. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching Anna's Design here, and have fun creating and designing with all the fun new products.